Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, the 30th of March, and I'm live here with you in the Rise of the Six-Figure Healer community. Welcome to you if you're watching me live or via the replay. So today I'm super delighted to share with you a small snippet of the materials that are going to be available in both our seed and bud programs very shortly. So I'm going to be sharing with you flower essences that can support business growth. So I'm super excited to do this. I haven't really shared my flower essence experiences and wisdom outside of the diploma that I run. There's been tiny bits and pieces here and there, but I'm really called to start embedding this deeply into business because it can help so much. So I can see some people are here with me live. Please do say hello so that I'm not alone. And again, if by saying hello and by pressing the like or the love button, what that will do is it will show Facebook that there are people here and there's something happening. Because what happens with Facebook, and this is part of business, is if nothing's happening, then they don't show it. The algorithms support growth. So the more the community works together, the more we can get the information out there. So I appreciate it if you can do that for everybody else's sake. Good morning, Lisa. So congratulations, Lisa, because I know you are joining our seed program. Caroline is as well. I've heard from a few others of you. We've got calls booked. There's things bubbling outside of the public view, so to speak. So I'm super excited if that is you. As I've said before, April the 1st is a wonderful window to begin, just because it holds an astrological energy that really works. Now, for any reason you don't join, if that's what you want to do before Friday, you can still join. There's no huge cutoff date here. But my wish here is, if you are called, is to help you take that step. Because otherwise, we all know what happens is that we see something we like, and we want to do it, and then we don't for whatever reason, and then the energy slips away. So your sovereign self, and you know what to do. I'm not here to try and persuade you in any other way, but I want to support you if it is your calling. So good morning, Sally. And again, I can see somebody else saying hello, but I don't know who you are because of the way this app works. So before, I'm going to show you some slides. But before I do, I just want to talk to you a little bit about flower essences. They were the energy that took me from severe anxiety that hospitalized me. There were other things as well. It wasn't just essences. I took care of myself with really high vibration vitamins and minerals, and I had acupuncture and counseling and psychotherapy, all sorts of amazing things. But flower essences have been the kind of the energy that have supported me. And all of these years later, I still take them every single day. So it's how I start my day. If you were to see my desk now, you'd go, oh my goodness, look at her desk. It's full of essences. And as you can see, they are behind me here. So they're kind of like the foundation to everything that I do. And as I have a friend called Nalini, who I've worked with actually as a spiritual mentor, and occasionally still do. Nalini is one of these people that sees people's energy fields, which I can't do, not consciously anyway. And she says to me, it's always so lovely to see you, Sarah, because wherever you go, the flowers and the trees go with you. So even for people that have worked with me, or as you've spent this time with me here, even though I haven't necessarily spoken about them, they've been with us all the way through, because I'm told they're in my energy field. So that's exciting. And if you take essences, then they're going to be in yours too. So that's cool. So the other thing that I wanted to share that was just coming to me as I began today is well, it's been with me for a long time, this knowing, and it's why I'm super pleased to be able to share. But what I've noticed in myself and people that I work with, so healers who want to start businesses, the very main reason why we don't take action on our dreams and we don't follow through is because we doubt ourselves. And we went through all of those things in the masterclass the other day, the replay. So I've got some of them here. There were things like, I'm not good enough. I don't know enough. I doubt myself. I have a lot of fear. If I do it, nothing will happen. I'm frightened of being seen. I feel as if I need to give myself away for free. I've undercharged for so long, but I don't know how to change it. Everything needs to be perfect before I can move forward. I have fear of being judged, of how others will see me. And I completely understand all of those things because many, many of them I have danced with myself, and sometimes they still come to visit me, okay? So you can see that most of those things, it's not like I don't know how to do this I don't know how to do a Facebook thing or a Facebook Live or a Facebook page, or I don't know how to set up an email. All of those things. If you wanted to set up a business completely on your own without spending money, you could do that on Google just by Googling things. You can do all of this because it's all out there as free material. What's missing is the support side and also the belief systems. We don't sit down and Google this stuff and do it because we're surrounded, the energetic part is not with us. So this is key, and why I'm so excited to start introducing it with you. So again, I can see that there's quite a few here, so please do say hello because it's always nice to greet you. And if you watch the replay as well, please do check in so that we can connect with each other in that way. So as part of the Empowered Healer programs, both the seed and the bud, you will have access to this. In bud, this is not going to happen straight away for the buds because it may take me a month or so to get this together because it's brand new. But the bud essences will be slightly different from the seed essences because as we start to grow our businesses, if you are a bud or are called to join at a more bud level, it's more there about letting go, whereas at seed, it's about the beginning. Yeah, Caroline's there. Absolutely, Caroline. Happy that you're here, and I'm happy that you're going to get to join us. It is absolutely right. And that's why I'm kind of being bold enough to say, I haven't Googled this, by the way. And if you are considering joining us, please do your due diligence and look around and make sure that this is your heart to follow you. But I don't know of any other business mentoring program that actually includes essences. So let's see. Let me see if I can get this techie bit together. And we'll begin. So that's the one. Okay, so I just need to go and change something before we begin. Okay, back to you. Okay, almost. As you see, this is imperfect action. I'm hoping this is going to work. Yep. Okay, maybe not. Okay. I haven't done this for a while. Okay, trying again. Good morning. I'm not quite sure who you are, but good morning to you. So we're going to need to keep it like this, which is fine. So as far as I know, you can now see my screen. Is that correct? Yep, you can. Okay, so I can't actually see a way right now to make it the whole screen, but never mind. The most important thing is that we do this. So the very first, what we're going to do is we're going to go through a small snippet of the different essences that can help each of the elements that we spoke about on the replay, and I will remind you of them. So we're going to look at Earth to begin with. So in our new Earth, and as a healer, and I'm bringing sacred principles and priestess energy here, we birth our businesses through ourselves. So an example of this, if we work for somebody else, and we've probably all done that, it's not our energy. We may be very passionate about it, and we may be very good at it, and it may be what we need to do. But if you're here, I sense it's not. So that's somebody else's energy. They pay you, you do your best, but it's not you. When we have our own business, and particularly as healers, it's really important to be in authenticity and integrity for other businesses, of course, too. But in the healing world, it is what we stand for, the whole nurturing and empathy, etc., etc. So we need to bring this through us. And this is where we get stuck as well, because we think to ourselves, in fact, I just saw a post, it was nothing to do with us here this morning, of somebody saying, this is what I'd like to do as my business, but I know somebody else that does the same thing. How do I do it if it's already out there? So we can just go to, any shop, and, I'm just going to think of journals. I don't know why it came into my mind. There's all different types of journals out there. Just because one was birthed, it doesn't mean to say that none of the others are valid. What we have to do is not compare ourselves. We have to go inside and create from our own truth. Okay, and that's one of the key things, and you were all doing that beautifully as part of the experience that we had last week. So your body, our bodies are our containers, and so one of the biggest things that we all need to do, and this is in my experience, is to get truly, really connected to who we are and to love ourselves as that. So it's the body's the container to the water that flows through us. The water represents our feelings. It represents the energetic flow of income. It's the container of the air we breathe. The air is our vision. It's the container to the energy and the digestive fire that we have. The fire is our action part. So our bodies contain everything, which is why it's so important that we are embodied, and we're not floating around out in the ethers, and that our ideas don't stay out there in the ethers, and then we bring it through us. We birth it literally. So you and we have a unique expression of spirit from heaven to earth, and your body holds that energy. So if you're part out, part in, according to your own structure, then it's going to be difficult. It's not just about building a business here, it's about walking around in life. And that's how Flower Essences really helped me, because although from the outside I might have looked, when I was actually really poorly, it didn't look like that. But for the majority of my first 45 years, it looked as if I was kind of operating normally. But in fact, I wasn't, because I was operating from a yang pushy force that really wasn't who I was. So your energetic nature is going to be different to mine. And the whole point of doing something like this and bringing essences in is that it gives us the way forward. It, if you like, it sets out a pathway forward in our emotional world, in our belief system that supports who we are. So in the Empowered Healer programs, yes, I share with you what I do, and I can share with you, for example, how I've set up this experience and how now I'm there sharing with you how to do this. I can share with you all of those things, but it might not be your nature to do it in this way. So we fully support that you do it in the way that works for you. And the best way to find out that is to find out who you are and to work from that place. So I hope that makes sense to you. Feel free to ask questions if not. So what might it feel like if we're not in balance with Earth? Earth being our body container. So there's a lot more information on the inside of the course. This is literally just a snippet. So 3 of the symptoms, if you like, that might come up for you if your Earth, your body container, is not in balance. You might be impatient. And I understand. He's like, I want to have this business now. It's not going to happen now. You grow it, just like planting a seed, which is why our first program is called Seed. You plant the seed, but you plant the seed that you want. And the only way you know that is by going inside, which is why essences are so beautiful for us. So what can happen is that, 2 or 3, 4 months in, we can get really impatient because nothing appears to be happening. And so we miss steps, we leap to a stage of our business that we're not actually ready for, which is why the seed and the bud is kept separate, because they are different systems for different parts of your business, or we give up. Maybe we don't trust in the cycles and timings of nature, which is pretty much the same thing. We don't trust that under the earth things are happening and it's getting us ready for that spurt of growth. And maybe we have stagnant energy. So that is stuckness, basically. We've just not expressed ourselves. We've just not found a way to find out what we're really feeling because we've paid so much attention to the external world. So this was me as well. So I get this. So an essence that you can use that will really, really help you with this on the inside of the program. There are going to be other essences. I'm going to be showing you how we can choose essences ourselves in a very, very feminine way that comes away from repertories. But here's one essence. Well, actually, there's a second one coming up. I can see it as well. This is Impatiens from the Batch Essence. So this is an essence I'm going to be sharing with you in the Seed and Bud programs and here today as well. Essences from ranges all around the world. The essences themselves aren't part of the program. If you pay in full for any of the programs, you will get a bonus set of my own essences of 3 essences. But otherwise, you're free to get what you need in the ways that you can. And guidance will obviously be part of this. So Impatiens is the essence for being impatient, essentially. So it kind of slows us down and helps us to come back into the divine timing of our own life. So if you have that kind of fiery tendency, it might be very helpful for you to look at it. But the feminine way of doing this is to do it in a way where you don't take something that's not comfortable for you. You really, yes, my words will help you, but what we're really looking at is to come at it from a different way, which is what we teach you within the program. So Maya, good morning. So here is another one that can really help us with getting to know our true selves and embodying that through the body. And you can see that through this beautiful, beautiful camellia. She's one of the essences that I know about that can really help us love ourselves so much that we have no option but to do the work that we came here to do. So I love her a lot. And as we go through this, I would love you to share which ones are speaking to you, because that's helpful for everybody. So do feel free to chime in if you wish. So we're going to go on to water now. Right. Okay. So water is the element, the co-creative elephant element that works with our feelings. So what might it be like to not be aware of how your feelings affect your ability to flow? So this was very key for me because I was denying many of my feelings. In fact, many of them I didn't even know I had. So it's hard to create from a pure flow that's magnetic when we're not clear on our feelings. Now, we are all works in progress. I am very much a work in progress. We're always changing, but just by doing some of this is going to change your life so much. So some of the ways your feelings might affect your ability to flow. So flow is how we flow through life. It's not just about business. As a healer with a business, your personal life and your business is pretty much the same thing. Now, what I mean by that is I don't mean that you work all hours that God sends or the goddess sends, but as we learn in the money frequency exercises, how you respond to money is how you respond to everything. It's a pattern. So how we respond in our personal life is how we respond in our business. So it's all the same thing. So your flow in life, your flow in your business, your flow of clients, your flow of money, all of those things. So I'm feeling angry and resentful. If that is part of how you're feeling, and maybe if you're like me, you come from a family that didn't express anger, you're not going to know what anger feels like. And so you won't know how to get your anger out. So essences are a very cool way. Anger is very close to love. It's just the stage before it. How else? I've accepted that my business is not going to work based on past experiences. So, well, that didn't work before, so it's not going to work again. So we've just kind of drawn a line in the sand. We haven't looked at where our feelings were when we did it before, where our beliefs were, was what we did in alignment within our true selves. Good morning, Helen. Yeah, you're going to join Seed. I saw your email just before I started. So congratulations to you, Helen. And you can catch up later, absolutely. And you'll have all of this in more detail inside your program. So I don't believe that I have a unique part of the jigsaw to offer to the world. So comes back to self-love. At the end of the day, it all comes back down to self-love. And I'm surrounded by others who do not support my entrepreneurial path. So that's hard if others around us don't actually believe us and have the same feelings as us. They don't appreciate what we're doing. And so that really lowers our energy. So one of the essences that can help you if you are feeling disappointed in what has happened before is Gention from the Batch Essences. This is a beautiful essence for when life hasn't quite lived up to what you thought it was going to be. It's very linked to the heart and to our own personal will and to the divine will, and it can really help bring things though together. So if you love the look of Gention, she may well be able to help you if you have those feelings. Another one that I love, no surprises because it's one of mine, just because I helped co-create it. This is a pomegranate essence created under a crescent moon. So the crescent moon is the sign of the priestess. It's the sign of sacred work. And pomegranate is a perfect essence, as you can see, for its color, for self-worth and the sacral chakra. And so the pomegranate here, which is called I Am Magic, helps clear some of the energy from the sacral chakra and helps us know that the energy that is in our womb space, if you're a guy, is in your sacral chakra, is your divine imprint, and that the magic has always been inside of us, always. And it's just that it gets lost and forgotten as we go through life. We school, the church, if that's been part of your past, our parents, it's nobody's fault, but it kind of like gets wiped out of us, but it's still there. We can still remember it. So this is a beautiful essence to help you remember your magic and therefore your feeling world. So we're going to go now to the air element and what it might be like not to be aware of and nourish your beliefs. So we spoke a lot in the very first day of our experience, which is still in this community, about the vision and what came to light. And same for me, it's actually why I ran this experience, was because I realized that I had been kind of holding myself and therefore everybody else small. And I was like, oh my goodness, the rise of the six-figure healer, that feels so good to my energy system. Okay, so let's share this energy. So when we realize that we're playing small and we're shrinking to fit the beliefs and expectations of others, this is our air, this is our vision, this is our beliefs. Our beliefs have to match our vision. Now, if you are not currently earning any money through your business or only a small amount, and you kind of go, okay, next new moon, I want to earn 6 figures. That's not going to happen. So we have to set the intention that's in alignment with the next step. Okay. And this is what we do every single new moon in our new moon calls. It's not about, oh, I want this amount of money or this amount of clients. Yes, that is your long-term vision, but it's not what that's not your intention for the next step. Because if you don't have the belief system to match that, that is not going to arrive. So we have to set the intention that's the next part, that matches the next step. I hope that makes sense to you all. So here's some of the essences that you can use. Here's one very dear to my heart, called Dreaming in a New World. It's the one that you can see here is actually sold through my own range, but there are many other healers who sell this because this essence was actually made in co-creation. So if you're looking for an essence, if you'd like to buy one, just put a shout out here in this community, because I think there are other people here also that sell it, because my essences are shipped from France, which is not a problem. But if you're looking for one from the UK, then there may be somebody in the UK who could sell you one. So Dreaming in a New World was co-created with some cranes. In fact, not just some cranes, hundreds of cranes that flew over us while we're doing it. And there's a whole story connected to this. If anybody would like to know the story, the deeper story, again, just let me know and I will post the video here. We call it Dreaming in a New World because that is the essence. I like to take this essence at new moon. So it's a perfect essence for now. It's a perfect essence for clearing out anything that doesn't belong. And it's just to get in touch with that new earth, that new world that's looking to be born from within you. Sometimes when if we've had big vision, if we've had visions that haven't come to fruition, it might be that it was somebody else's vision, not yours. Because if it's only yours, nobody can take that away from you. It does not have a power that's outside of you, because you're the only one that can bring it through. So if someone else doesn't like it or disagree with it, it's yours. And yes, there may be external circumstances that impact its birth, but it's yours. This is another one which is kind of similar but different. This is the new moon combination from Moonflower Essences, which is my range. You can see the flowers, some of them here, White Rose and Serato are in it. The other flowers you can go and look on my site, but I use this every single new moon to anchor in my intentions. I put a drop on the paper where I write my intentions, and it's just a great reset. Now, we don't have to wait till new moon to do this. We can do this at any time. So it's just another thought for you. Okay, so finally, we're going to go to fire, which is the final and very, very important co-creative element now. And as we spoke about in the replay, if this one isn't present, then it stops here because it doesn't get birthed. So if we stall at this place, so, when we talk about doing, people kind of go, what? You mean I've got to work harder, do more? But here's where it makes a difference. And let's just go through the steps together. The very first thing is to align with your core being. What is it that I am here to do? And then we focus on what we desire. That's what we create. We align with the vibration of what we wish to manifest. That's our feeling world and our belief world. We make sure our beliefs are aligned and updated, and then we take action. So most of us have been taught to begin and end with step 5. It's just to do. That's not what I stand for, and it's not what we encourage you to do as part of one of our programs, which is why it's such a blessing now that the flowers are coming in to support you. So as I shared in our community yesterday, just some of the things that put out our fire, so that our ability to take action, our passion, is when our feeling world is undernourished, when we're not taking care of our feelings, when we don't love ourselves and we don't have the right things in place for self-love, and when we have ideas without action. They get backed up in our system, and if they're, and yeah, the fire gets dampened. Everything we're talking about is very interconnected. So some of the things it might feel like to not be open to taking divine right action is if you feel exhausted and burned out due to working in yang and masculine ways. This is what happened to me in my 40s. If you feel unsupported and loved, and if you choose other people's views of the world over your own, that can definitely put out our fire. So here's a couple of essences that can help. I love this essence. I actually took this myself over the winter because it's just a good time in winter to regather our energies. This is Fireweed from the Alaskan Essences. Fireweed is one of the flowers that first lines the forest floors and the meadows after fire. So it can, by taking it, it really gives us that foundational root system in our energy system to bring the energy up from our earth, the earth, rather than pulling it out of strict reserves that are not there. And then we have rose quartz from the Moonflower and Alaskan Essences. This essence is probably one of my favorites. As you can see, I'm wearing rose quartz this month. It's one of my crystals of this month for me to help me love myself and care for myself. So this is just an essence of self-love. Just a beautiful, beautiful essence to make sure that you are on the top of your pile and nobody else. And that's super, super important as a business owner, particularly if you have bud and onwards. Really, really helpful, because as you grow as a business, you're going to need to start really taking care of your own energy system, because as more people get to connect with you, you can't be there for everyone all the time. And so loving yourself deeply enough to put the systems and the processes in place in order to safeguard yourself, and therefore the vision, and therefore your work, and therefore your clients' progress, is super important. But it's important all the time. We wouldn't be anywhere without self-love, are we? Okay, so those are the essences. I'd love to know which one has been your favorite today. Please do share with us. I'd really be very interested to know, just from looking at her, who jumps out to you today? Because this is the other very fun thing, because even if you hadn't seen, or if I hadn't spoken to you, this is connected to this element, it's connected to all elements, because everything is part of everything. It's also going to start showing you where you need support, and what element might be a little bit deficient. Again, we're not a one-stop shop here. There's lots of different information. So I look forward to seeing what you share. So I just want to remind you, in the words of actions, one small action or a series of actions sets off a reaction in the universe. So by you taking one action in the right direction, actually informs the universe, just like dominoes. Even if it might not be evident from the outside world, it sets off the reaction in the universe. So just remember the importance of action taking. As we come to the end of this presentation today, I'd just like to remind you that we are gathering the energy to begin on April the 1st. Because it is the new moon in Aries, we have a new moon alignment on Monday morning, which can be accessed as a replay as well. So don't worry if you're not available Friday morning. These are the investments for the seed program. So if you pay in full at £1,111, you will get everything for 9 months, as shared in our replay. I will pop the link to the page where you can sign up underneath this video, or you can pay in monthly payments of £135 as well. For those of you who are more interested in bud, then please get in touch and I will send you the information. Finally, I just want to show you this beautiful rose whose name is Sovereignty. She's one of my own ranges, and her message is, and my message to you as we finish, is I hold you as sovereign. I hold you as a divine spark of creation, and I know you know what to do. So I'm looking forward to seeing the essences that spoke to you. I hope you've enjoyed today. I certainly am very excited to share with you, and super excited to be sharing essences now within the business programs. So I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye, everybody.